Hey everyone, good morning, good morning. I am so excited. I'm so excited. It's not because today is Monday. Well, actually, it's because today is Monday. Today is Monday, December the 14th. And Ching, and he is going to be here. And last week, I mentioned about Ching, and who is the publisher of KungFuMagazine.com, will be here. And I got so many responses from all of the world, I can say, and the people really looking forward to this event, and so do I. And but first of all, we still have to have our class, right? You know the drill. So first of all, your hands to the side. Let's shake. You can do this sitting or standing. And I try to demonstrate for you at both position. And you can choose whichever way you want to do it. And gradually move your hands upward over your shoulders. Keep it shaking and keep going. And over your head, keep shaking. Yes, feel the energy. Keep going. And now fingers point at the ceiling, and turn it really quick. It's like turning the light bulbs. Woo! Feel that? Can you feel the sensation in your hands and fingers? Okay, and now shake your hands down. Good, 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 good. And if you don't have a knee problem, and you can engage your knees. And then up and down with your heels. Good. Keep going. And then if you're sitting, you can bounce also. Very nice, up and down. And now put your heels down and keep shaking. Just slowly, slowly, slowly come to an end. Feel the tingling sensations? Very good. Now bring your two hands together. And remember, I mirror image you. This is your right side. This is your left side. Oh, by the way, in case this is the first time you join the free lesson, my name is Violet Lee. Let's go. Go to the front. Toward your right, yourself, left, and front. And now you just circle your wrist all the way around. Keep going. Very good. Turning. Yeah. You don't want to change yourself by doing this right and left. Okay. You want to go all the way around. Very good. And now reverse. Stop. Now stretch. Feel the stretch in your spine, your neck, your shoulders. And now relax. Bring the hands to your waist and open. Good. And the hands facing each other. Turn down. Keep going. I see there's some messages. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks, Vivian and James, for being here. Good. Okay. Keep turning. I see some of you are sharing this free lesson on Facebook. Every time someone share, and I got a pop-up window. So thank you for doing that. That's great. Okay, one more. Good. Now, gentle fist. Relax your shoulder. Turn to your right side twice, then left side twice. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2. Keep going. 3, 2. Last set. 5, 6, 7. Stop. All right. Now, your right arm up close to your ear. Your right ear, okay. And now using your shoulder. Yes, you heard me. Using your shoulder to turn the arm. Go all the way around. And the shoulder is one joint, the only joint in our body. can make 360-degree turn. And but many of us losing the range of motion gradually, slowly. And so you should do this often so you will not lose the range of motion. Okay, now reverse. Brush through your right ear. Feel it. You don't need to go fast, but you need to go big. Good. Really feel the stretch. Excellent. Let's go for 2 more. Here's 1 and 2. Switch. Left arm up. Again, not using your arm, but using your shoulder to turn the arm. And you will feel a lot more soreness afterwards if you're using the shoulder to turn. And also when you use the shoulder to turn, you can make much bigger rotation. Okay, now reverse. And last time, good. And relax. And next, gentle fist. No white knuckles, okay? 1, 2. Hands facing up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Really pull back, okay? And last set. 5, 6, 7, stop. Good. Now hands together, rubbing your 2 hands together. Yeah, more health, and generate some warmth. Now transfer the warmth to your neck and slowly massage your neck. Oh, that feels great. Okay. Now hands down and keep your upper body upright, and it doesn't matter you're sitting or standing. Now gently lower your neck, but your back is still upright, and feel the gentle stretch in the back of your neck. Up center, tilt to your right shoulder. Up, left shoulder. Up. Now look at ceiling. Back to center. Over your right shoulder. Back to center. Left shoulder. Back to center. Now we're going to circle the neck, okay? If you, for any reason, don't like it or feel dizzy, you don't have to do it. You can skip it. So let's go. Head down, circle to right, back, left, and down. Try not to move your shoulder. Keep your shoulders still. Good. So just totally isolate your neck. You give your neck a good rotation all the way around. Okay. Now reverse to the left, back, right, and down. Keep going. And you may hear some popping noise. And like I do, which is normal. And that's fine. Unless you feel pain, then you should stop. And now stop. Good. Hands together again. And now massage your kidneys. Okay. Next, we're going to do hip rotation. And we want to keep the head suspended and not moving much at all. And now we turn the hip to right, back, left, and front. You can do this sitting. It's not as easy, but still doable. Good. Go all the way around. Last time, right, back, left, and front. Now reverse. Again, try to keep your head not moving much because we really want to isolate the core area and working through the core area. Okay. And stop. Good. Hands together again. Now massage your knees. Okay. Now using your hands, gently move your knees outward, circling. Good. If you're sitting and pick up your heels and sit up straight. Good. And now reverse. Now in and out. And if you're standing, you're doing this, okay? Make sure you are not putting pressure on knees. You're just using the hands to guide knee movement, okay? Good. Next, we're going to do lunges. First, let's do the front lunges, but I'm going to demonstrate for you sideways. Okay, so your right foot in the front, left foot in the back, and you're using your left hand, pushing your hips squarely facing the front, and make sure your knee stay either above or behind your heel. And if you are very stretchy and you can move your legs farther apart, but make sure you don't go forward. And then you want to stretch downward, not pushing forward, because pushing forward is bad for the knee. If you're sitting, just bring the knee to your chest and hugging tight. Very good. One more. Excellent. Now switch. And now left foot in the front, right foot in the back. Keep your back upright. Don't do this. When you do this, you put pressure on your precious knee. Okay? And done. Next, we're going to do side lunges. So open your legs as wide as you can. And now shift your body weight to your right side. And you do a little pausing. Good. And if you're sitting, gently pressing down. Very good. Okay. Now switch again. Open your legs wide. Sometimes the people do like this. When you do this, you know your spine is crooked, and you want to open wide so your spine still point down to the ground straight. And you're sitting. Really make sure you have proper body alignment. Okay, now shake it out. Kick from behind. Swing your arms from the back to the front. Just relax your body. Good. Last but not least, and then you place your right toes on the ground and using your right knee and draw circles. This is the ankle rotation. You're sitting. Yeah, just pick up your leg. You can do this. Good. Now reverse. Very well. Switch. Now left foot in the back. Okay, keep the back straight. Okay. And reverse. Now tap on your legs gently. Again, relax the muscles behind and up. Good. Next, we're going to do the brocade. 8 sections of brocade. If you're standing, keep your feet together. And then if you're standing, keep your knees softly bent. And now left foot to the side, open. And if you're sitting, just open your legs And round the hands to the front with both hands facing your lower ab. And just slowly inhale and exhale. Feel how relaxed your body is. Your neck is relaxed. Your shoulders are relaxed. So are your elbows and your hands and knees. Good. Now bring both hands together, lace them together, flip the palm up, and now lift yourself up, both elbows straight. And now look forward, move arms back. So when you move arms back, feel your lower back is arched. And this is really good for your lower back and open, relax. Okay. And now up, give yourself a lift, look up. Now look straight, move arms back, open, good. And once again, up, 两手托天理三焦, both hands pushing toward the sky. Great for the health of your spine, your shoulders, your lower back, and most importantly, the triple warmers. Look up, look straight, and open. Good. Next, if you're standing, open your legs wide. Make sure your toes do not fan out like that. Bring your toes in so both feet kind of parallel to each other and arms crossed. And let me show you sideways. Don't hold it too tight to your chest. It's your elbows kind of around it. Now slowly pull your arms apart. Left elbow straight, right elbow bend to the side. And now turn your head, look at left index finger. Now open your right arm, look at your right side. Cross and pull. As you squatting down, make sure your body stay in the middle. Your body will not lean forward, will not lean sideways either. Okay. 左右开弓四射雕 bow and arrow, like shooting a bird. And it is great for the health of the lungs and the heart. Fall and winter is a great season, which we should strengthening our lungs. So let's do a few of this. And not to mention with COVID-19, it's really important we have good cardiovascular functions. And this is the last set. Let's finish up on the right. Okay. And pull. Good. Relax. Now both hands facing up. Slowly move your left hand up to center line of your body and twist. And now right hand down. Good. Now right up, left down. Notice right fingers point at left side, left fingers point forward. Yes, this is a very asymmetric move. 调理脾胃虚单举. And notice my elbows are bent, not lock or straighten. Good. But you do need to twist your palm and feel the stretch at the 掌根 root of the palms. And this exercise is great for the health of the stomach and the spleen. And let's finish on the right side. Now both hands facing down. Open your arms, feel stretch in your chest. Turn your head, look at left and back. Do not turn your body, only your head. Good. Very good. Keep going. 五劳七伤往后翘. Turning the head like an wise out. And this is great for the health of the liver, the digestive tract, and it can help to get rid of fatigue. And yes, and next, open your legs wide, both hands on your thigh, okay? And now, if you're sitting, and bring your legs out at a 45-degree angle. Don't bring the too wide or too narrow. So it's about 45-degree angle. Make sure your knees stay either above or behind your heel. And place your hands on your knee. Now let's go together and try to keep your back as flat as you can. Lower your chest to the right side and now circle to left and keep circling. Good. And now reverse. Very good. Again, from right to left. Good. 摇头摆尾去心慌 and circling the head and the tail can reduce the inflammation in the body. And it's also great for the health of the heart. How about one more set? Let's go. Okay. And reverse. Okay, walk your feet in, arms up, and now bring your hands down, like folding down, and flip the palms. Bring the hands to your kidneys. So next, we're going to bend forward and down. As we bend forward and down, we run the hands behind the legs, okay? It's very important because this is for the kidneys. And first, your hands touch the heels, then move to the toes, then move arms to the ears, then all three coming up. So let's go together, okay? Up, hands down, flip the palm to the back, and down, go down. And up. And when you go down, and try to keep your knee as straight as possible. Of course, if you're sitting, then your knees are not straight, right? It's okay. Just round your hands behind the legs. 双手攀足固肾腰, both hands touching the feet. Great for the health of the kidneys. Good. And next one, open your hands big and wide, yeah, and bend your thumb. And 4 fingers wrap around. And this kind of fist is not for the martial art fighting, okay? This is for your health. And so you bring the fist to your waist And if you're standing, definitely keep your knees bent. You can keep a high stand, medium stand, or low stand, and it's your choice. But keep your back upright straight, right fist out, open, turn. Turn your wrist at a 90-degree angle and open your eyes big and wide, staring at the screen and beyond. This is called 转拳怒目, 真气力. So this is an eye exercise as well. So you really need to open your eyes big and wide. This can increase your energy level as well as the physical strength. One more set. Good. Walk your feet in, up, and down. Just let your heels come down naturally. Do not use any force. Okay. And you're sitting, the same thing. Two more. Here's one and two. Now shake it out. Okay, it's about time. Let me see, there are quite a few comments. Oh, Marilyn, I'm so glad that you make it this morning. And darling, loving this class. Thank you, darling. And German, oh, that's good, from Tampa, Florida. So anyway, as I mentioned at the beginning of this class, I'm so excited because Ching is going to be here. And in case you have any questions, of course, if you're watching this class on YouTube and I cannot respond to you right away, but if you're watching on Facebook and you can, present your questions and I can read it to Jim, and then maybe he can answer you. Okay, if the time allows. So, without further ado, I'm going to ask Jim to come to the studio. Hello, Jim. How are you?
And,
very good.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I enjoyed your
podcast. So much oh, okay. Thank you. And you're so sincere, and I know you're very busy, but you stay on the whole time. And let me show you some of my collection. This is just a tiny bit of my collection, but I cannot bring them all here. Look at these.
I'm glad you keep those.
Yeah, and all these. Oh my God. Like I said, this is just a small part of my collection, and I cannot get them all here. They're just too many, too heavy. And as I got a little story to share with the audience. That's kind of embarrassing. It's about 10 years ago. And someone told me, I started to write about Tai Chi and Qigong. Somebody said, well, you should write for Kung Fu Tai Chi magazine because it's such a prestigious publication. And if they publish your article, that just establish yourself as a more serious writer. So, okay, I don't know if they want my article. So I wrote an article for you guys, and then you've been so patient with me because first of all, I wasn't familiar with the format or anything, and not to mention, English is my second language, and I don't write eloquently as you do. You got the perfect words and everything, so it was very nice. And but you were very, very patiently working with me, and eventually we got the article published. So I always feel, oh my God, he is such a great person. And as I mentioned, you're very good with the words, but at the same time you understand martial arts so well. And you tell us a little bit about your background as far as your martial art training. I know you went to Shaolin Temple, right? So
yeah, I spent a lot of time at Shaolin. Actually, I started in judo when I was very, very young. One of my cousins was a kung fu guy, and they came by our house and with their team because they were on tour and they stayed at my parents' house, and that kind of got me turned on to it all. But then when I moved back to California, I continued some judo and I did some Shotokan, and it just kind of didn't click for me for a while, and I dropped out for a few years, but then came back, and I was kind of obsessed with swords, and so I started studying kung fu and boxilam under Kwang Wing Lam, and then Western fencing, and those were my disciplines through junior high school, into college. I actually went to college to fence. My
Wow.
my When I got out of high school, I didn't really know what I was going to do, and I was going to go to junior college. But I'd taken a summer camp with the man who would be my coach, Michael Tessara, who was a very renowned fencing master at San Jose State. And in fact, there's a documentary coming out on him, or it's already out. It's doing the film festival circuit that I appear in, called Stro, because that was his nickname. Because you call a fencing master maestro, but Michael Tessara, we called him Stro because that's the kind of guy he was. So he told me that, most of his fencing students didn't have any background. Most of his teams didn't have any background when they came to the university. That was when they first picked up fencing. But I'd already been fencing for years, and he said I could make the team in the first year if I just came over. And at that time, the state universities wasn't that much more expensive than the junior college. And as soon as you start in college, whether junior college or state college or university level, you start eating at your NC2A points. You've got 5 years to fence or to compete for under NC2A rules. At least that was back then. I don't know what it is now. And so I did that, and it really, wound up getting a degree as sort of a side benefit of being a fencing athlete. I mean, I never would have thought in high school, because I wasn't really athletic aside from my martial arts, that I would go to college as an athlete. But it was a great experience.
Very good.
It was a great experience. And then,
so when did you pick up more the Chinese Kung Fu?
Well, it was the same time, actually. See, I had a choice.
Oh, okay.
In the area, I was in the Bay Area, and there was Kung Fu, there was fencing, and there was Kendo, Japanese Kendo. But I could only take, if I took Kendo, that was all I could take. And it was only once a week because the way the classes timed out. But if I took Kung Fu and if I took fencing, I could kind of alternate and get in more lessons. And my master studio was something my cousin had recommended, who was training in the area too, although closer up to San Francisco. And I remember walking into that school, and my master's school was sort of this old traditional school with an ancestral altar and a weapons rack. And I saw all those weapons, and it was just like, that Chinese weapons rack is just so exotic. And I was just like, yeah, I want to do that. And he's like, oh, no, well, for years, you got to do your empty hand forms for years before you even pick up a staff. And I was like, sure, let's do it. And it's had my, Chinese martial arts has had my heart ever since, because I just have this passion for cold arms, for those ancient weapons. There's just something about them that's so informative and so artistic. I just love them, and so that's always kept my my interest, not just in the practice of them, but also the research of them. If you're to look at the body of my articles and research in the magazine, there's always been that push towards Chinese weapons. And I think, I'm kind of saddened, actually, because I think in the Chinese martial arts, we have the most diverse and exotic arsenal of any culture. Some really crazy weapons. I mean, you look at, say, like, tiger head hooks. That's a crazy weapon. No other culture has anything like that.
Do you own those weapons?
I do. I have too many weapons.
You know what? You should come back one day and let's just talk about the weapons. That would be really interesting. Yeah. And,
sure. I'm always happy to
talk. Because I don't think I have any idea sound like the hooks you just mentioned. I don't think I know how it looks like. So it would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
really neat, And some people already say, well, if you only have a gym on the show once and 30 minutes, that's not enough. So you should come back and then to tell us more of these things. I mean, it's very educational. Not say we all need to practice those things, but it's good to know. And then the history, everything behind. Oh, look at it. Oh my God, everybody's popping the comments. And thank you all very much for your nice comments. And then, okay, so now let's talk about when did you go to China and then to study at Shaolin Temple.
Actually, the first time I went to China was in 1991, and that was when I was part of the AAU team, the Amateur Athletic Union, which is sort of a feeder organization, national organization that feeds into like Olympic training. And so I went representing. At that point, there was I believe this still exists. I'm not quite too sure. I haven't kept up on it, but there was a Chinese martial arts division uh, in the AAU, and I won a spot on the team. And so I went to Jinan to go to a tournament, Jinan International Tournament. And it was a great experience. I mean, if you ever have the opportunity to compete in a tournament in China, just the pageantry alone and the camaraderie is just amazing. It's a wonderful experience. China really understands how to give visiting athletes face and to make you feel really, even if you lose, make you feel really good about the experience. And then in 1995, Shaolin Temple celebrated its 1500 year anniversary. And so I just thought I had to go. I mean, it's a couple of years after my first trip, and I found by just sheer happenstance, I found Matthew Polly, who wrote American Shaolin. He was leading a tour that you allowed you to stay at Shaolin for a month, whereas most tours you go for a day or two or a couple of days. And I thought, wow, a month, spend a month training at Shaolin, I got to do that. And after that experience, I was hooked because Shaolin was just so amazing. I mean, especially back in '95, it was before before Abbot Yelchin got inaugurated. So Shaolin was kind of wilder back there. It was kind of crazier, kind of inappropriate actually, because you know how Chinese tourism is sort of gaudy and seedy, and when it's not controlled and regulated. I mean, there was like a roller coaster simulator. There was people just absurd touristy stuff. Like one of Mao's planes was outside Tallinn. It was ridiculous. But personally, I kind of love that ridiculousness because it was so absurd. I mean, now since it's cleaned it up, it's much more appropriate. And being Buddhist myself, it makes a lot more sense. I mean, it's not gaudy and cheesy. It's actually very reverent, which is as it should be. But in those years before, that craziness really appealed for me. And I mean, ultimately, what I think a lot of people miss about Shaolin, because they just go to the tourist temple and see the sights, is that Shaolin Sanshan is a gorgeous mountain. And if you get a chance to hike the trails and explore, you find little tucked away temples and on hidden peaks and crazy mountain trails. It's just a beautiful geological wonder in terms of how that mountain is. It's just majestic. It's a central holy mountain, sacred mountain of China. And, Chinese mountains, if you get a chance to really spend some time and hike them, are stunning. I mean, great chi. There's something in that land that just radiates chi. But it's been over a decade and a half since I've been to Shaolin. I was supposed to go this year. My master, it was the celebration of See the Tongue's 20th anniversary of the founding of the school, and he actually closed his brick and mortar a long time ago, but he still has students there, and because he travels a lot, he couldn't really support having a brick and mortar school there. He actually had two for a while. But since he found that school was founded 20 years ago, he was going to have a celebration this year. He was calling all the disciples back and all the students, and I was all excited. I was going to try to take my daughter, and the pandemic happened, so everything got shut down. So maybe we'll go next year. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how finances are. Pandemic's been tough. It's been really tough.
I understand. Well, while I first wrote for Kung Fu Tai Chi magazine, and I believe you were the editor or chief editor that time, and later on you became the publisher. And several months ago, I was very sad, like many, and the readers, and I found out the printed version of the Kung Fu Tai Chi magazine and stopped publishing. So can you talk a little bit about it? And I know in general, the print media has been tough for anyone.
Sure.
And so many newspaper folded, and magazines, of course, and Kung Fu Tai Chi magazine was the largest print media in this martial art area. And can you talk a little bit about your journey, and when did you start writing on about martial art, and when did you join the magazine and the story?
Sure. I started writing in martial arts in the early 90s after I'd gone to Jinan, actually. And after I saw China, it was just like such a great story. And at that time, I just wasn't very satisfied with the kind of articles I was reading in martial arts magazines. They were all very shallow, or very, most of them were pretty shallow, pretty trite. A lot of, I mean, the research was very early back then, and it's kind of hard to think back 30 years ago, but what was available in English was incredibly limited, not just in terms of magazines, but also in terms of published books. They were all just very, very cursory, very light. And I had already known that, after going to China and after doing my own research, and my first shifu was very, very literate. I've been introduced to all these sort of deeper concepts of Chinese martial arts, and realized there was such a bigger story to tell. So I started, writing, and mainly was out of just being dissatisfied with what was already out there, and it was kind of like, well, a lot of people, I see this in the internet all the time, where they kind of, that sucks, right? It's like, well, I mean, you can do that. You can put that negativity out in the world, or you can just put out something positive that more people watch. I mean, do you want to do your show and actually show people your version of Baduanjin, or you want to sit back and just comment negative comments on other people's Baduanjin? The positive thing to do is do what you're doing, put stuff out. And if people give the negative comments, that's their business. But, I'm still going to put out what I want to put out and tell my side.
But the difference is I have thick skin. I don't care if people.
Right. Well, I mean, you have to. Right? I mean, martial arts, in the heart of it, martial arts are the very core of it. All of us like to fight a little bit. I mean, that's martial arts. Whether that be fighting for our own health or actually fighting other people, there's that warrior spirit, and a lot of times I think that gets misplaced in terms of the sense that we fight each other for no reason, just because we have just to fight, because and so you get a lot of trolls, you get a lot of naysayers, and to me, I don't even think you're anyone in the martial arts if you don't have a detractor. You got to kind of have a villain or an enemy or an adversary. I mean, like they say in the Bible, iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. And in the same way in the martial arts, I mean, there's positive rivalry and negative rivalry. You have the sort of Cobra Kai, vicious Karate Kid rivalry that goes for 3 decades. And then you have these other rivalries where you actually improve each other. And so anyways, that's how I kind of addressed writing. And I was a freelance writer for about a decade. I wrote for almost all the magazines. At one point, Tiger Claw headhunted me out, and at that point, I'd helped Kwang Wing Lam build his company and his videos, and I was doing primarily writing for him. And then Tiger Claw hunted me out for this position at Kung Fu Taiji magazine. That was 1999. A lot of that came out of when I had gone to Shaolin in '95, and very few people had gone. And so I was one of the first people to, sort of right place, right time. I was one of the first people to start writing about it and publishing about it. And that gave me a really strong purchase in terms of getting, my name out there as a writer. And, to be honest, Kung Fu Tai Chi should have collapsed 10 years ago. There was a big, that was what, it was like 2009 was the big cut when it came to print magazines. Some 300 plus magazines went off the newsstands because there was a major shift on what was happening in the industry, how magazines were distributed, and it was sort of the death knell for many magazines. What kept us alive was we were sponsored by Tiger Claw. And so most magazines make their money off of outside advertising. Our magazine made our money off of Tiger Claw. And so Tiger Claw, we didn't have to sell ads. We just had to sell Tiger Claw products. And so that worked out well. They literally kept us alive for the last 10 years. And it was, but it had been a death of a thousand cuts. When I started with the magazine, we were like 35,000. Our circulation was about 35,000. By the time I ended, it was under 10. So, and it was just every issue.
Still quite a lot. There's still quite a lot, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, what happened was the nail in the coffin was the pandemic, because when the pandemic happened, it shut down all the newsstands. And some of the major distributors like Barnes and Noble said, okay, we're not taking any new magazines. And so we were done. If we couldn't sell on newsstand, we didn't have enough subscribers to make it worthwhile to produce a magazine of the size and content that we did. And so, we shifted over to the internet, which is honestly where we were making more of our money to begin with. Now, when the internet started rising up, and it was really, for me personally, it was very awkward to be a print publisher during this growth period of the internet. All the magazines tried to shift to do some sort of web thing. You got to, right? You got to have a website. And the problem with that is that, again, what pays for a website is its advertising. And so if you're selling nunchucks or whatever martial arts gear, are you going to advertise with Kung Fu Magazine, or are you going to advertise with Yahoo and Google? And you can go to the search engine ads because you get much more bite for your buck. So nobody could monetize their websites, but our main advertiser was Tiger Claw, so we could monetize our website right away, which allowed us to grow our website very rapidly. On top of that, we had acquired our online discussion forum, which the online bulletin boards and discussion forums have kind of faded, in the rise of Facebook and other social media. However, Facebook, Twitter, those social medias aren't as good of a searchable database. It's very hard to search out information in Facebook. They keep all that stuff. That's sort of their take in the equation. They have all the data of their users and all that. And you can search it, but it's very difficult. An online forum is completely searchable. So if you were to search some obscure term in Chinese martial arts, like tiger head hooks or something like that, our forum will pop on Google within a couple pages. And so that gave us automatic eyeballs. And once we had that viewership, that's, people can see our viewer stats. I mean, that's the way the internet works. So then we started attracting advertisers. And that was sort of icing, because most of our advertisers were actually Tiger Claw is what we were making ourselves. So shifting to the internet was very simple for us, and we started putting up fresh content. We put up a new article every week, although we stopped for December because we're running this online tournament, which is sort of a new experiment. It's been a lot
Tell
of
me
fun.
more about the online tournament. Sorry, I'm a little bit
Yeah,
ignorant
yeah.
about it.
A lot of, I mean, we did a big in-person tournament in May, which of course had to be canceled this year. And we started toward the end of the year. A lot of other tournaments had gone with online tournaments, and so we decided to do one. But our take on it was a little different. One of the things, I mean, aside from the networking and just the general contribution to the community, one of the things that our tournament did for us was it provided us with a lot of video content. And we were missing that this year because we didn't have the tournament, not so much video content. Now our YouTube channel has like 37,000 subscribers now, and so it's a powerful channel. And because of what happened this year, we had to let go of our video department, our video guy. And we haven't really done very much new content. And it's really kind of sad to me because I had just started on this vlog project, something I've been wanting to do for years, start putting out a vlog. And so I got one off. I had two in preparation, but they'll never see the light of day now because our video guy we had to lay him off. And I had a whole bunch of other kind of sketched out. My plan was to drop one every 2 months. And anyway, so nothing was happening on our YouTube channel for a long time. And then we saw these people doing video online tournaments, and we thought, oh, let's try that. But we did it in a different way. Most of the way the online tournaments do is, you post your video somewhere, and then somebody looks at it, and they score it, and they give you a trophy or what have you. We actually spread it out by age group. So we broke it into 5 age groups, and so there's a video drop. The last one happens this Friday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that way it spread out the viewership. And we also took the videos and put it on our site, which was because that's what we wanted. We wanted the viewership. We wanted new content. We also made the entrance very cheap. I mean, it was only $20 to enter, whereas most tournaments, these online tournaments, are charging twice that.
So who decides who wins? Is you have a panel of judges, or is audience decide?
We do have a one. Whoever gets the most views will get a trophy in each group.
Oh, okay. So okay, that's fair.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of that was an experiment because we wanted to sort of what we call the people's choice, and it came out kind of odd because some of the schools, some of the modern wushu schools, which were very aggressive, actually launched. I mean, modern wushu, one of the things you got to understand about modern wushu is it is a sport. And so the coaches, the masters that promote modern wushus are very competitive. And I completely respect that, especially being a former NC2A athlete. I know what it means to compete. I get it, right? And so what a few coaches did is they actually did paid sponsorships to promote certain ones of their athletes in the People's Choice, which is brilliant, actually, because it's not against the rules. No one we didn't we thought about it, and ultimately for us, I mean, we wanted the views, so they basically gave us free ads, and we're okay with that. If we do it again, I don't know how we'll resolve it. I think some people will probably think that it's cheating, but it's not, because in any sport, the sport is defined by the rules, and nowhere in the rules do we say that's an illegal thing to do. I don't know how we'll resolve that in future. Like I said, a lot of this tournament was an experiment. We did it also over the holidays, primarily because we wanted the eyeballs for sales, for holiday sales, to be honest with you. I mean, what funds all of this is people buying stuff at Tire Claw. And so if that doesn't happen, we have to turn the lights off. And, of course, with the pandemic, things have been very difficult for martial arts schools. A lot of them had to close all over. And that has a trickle up ripple in that martial arts suppliers like Tyra Claw, and I'm imagining the other companies, most of us make the bulk of our income supplying schools, not the individuals, not retail. It's all wholesale. And that really dried up this year with all the schools closing. And that actually has a much more long range effect that kind of frightens me, in that all the equipment that is manufactured in martial arts, not just Chinese martial arts, but Japanese, Korean, whatever, MMA, most all of that is coming out of Asia, predominantly China and Vietnam right now. That's where all the manufacturers are. Asia didn't have any PPV, so all those companies had no government support, which is kind of ironic, given that China is a communist nation, but they had no government support, and they're just collapsing because they need a certain amount of orders to keep their factories running. So, we're not ordering as much as we usually are. The other companies aren't. When the pandemic ends, we'll see who's still standing, not just in terms of American or Western distributors of martial arts gear, but in terms of producers in Asia. And so, it's very troubling, because particularly in Chinese martial arts, the equipment has been very, it's kind of split. It's kind of, not diversified is the word I want. It's modern wushu has kind of created a body of very low end weapons, right? That's part of China. They're lower quality, cheaper, but lower quality. So we're getting these the modern wushu weapons very, very flimsy. On the flip side, China's still a very affluent nation, and so there's been production of very high end pieces too. Like now you can get gens of quality that we've never seen. Just really beautiful reproductions, really beautiful modern pieces. But those pieces are going to cost you, several $100s, if not $1,000 plus. And who can afford that, right? That's not what I want to train with. I want to train with something I can drop on the floor if I make a mistake. Not that
Yeah.
but so there's this real split. There's no middle ground. There's like cheap weapons, and then there's really expensive weapons. And if I just want like a good quality, reasonably priced weapon, that's really hard to find right now, and it's getting harder and harder to find. And I shudder to think what will happen when we come back. If that'll be even part of the game, if that'll be something we can even acquire anymore.
Yeah, the pandemic certainly affects so many of us, and affect a different industry and way of doing business and thinking and so forth. And since you mentioned about saw, and early, we have a question from Darlene, and she was wanting to know a little bit about your saw plate, and I guess especially the announcement card I used was you playing the saw. Do you want to speak a little bit about your saw play?
Sword play.
No, we kind of run out.
Practices, or I don't fence anymore. I stopped fencing many, many years ago.
How
Now
about the Chinese saw?
Excuse me?
The Chinese saw.
A Chinese sword. So, for my Dao set, my Dao forms are all from Baxilam, from the Northern Shaolin, that I learned from Wing Lam. I used to do some Songshan Shaolin, some Shiga from Shaolin Temple. My Tian, it's also from, I do Li Jinling's, it's a Taiyu sword. It's a Wudang sword, and then a Baxilam sword. But I just do forms now. I don't really. I was part of Man at Arms, Our Wars for Art, for El Rey, which was a TV show where we made weapons, and we did a lot of weapon testing. So I had to, one of my old kendo dojo mates is actually very close to me in the area, and he's still teaching and training. And so I had to like do this jam session with him to remember how to do cutting because I hadn't done any cutting in a while, and they wanted me to cut. I actually did a jam cut for the Gen episode we did on Men at Arms Art of War. But aside from that, that was the last time I dabbled in cutting, and that was 2 years ago. So it's just been forms, no sword sparring at all, really. Just forms. But I don't know. Lately I've been getting really into Tien. I mean, I was much more into the Dao for a long time, just because I liked its sort of the yang quality of it. That it's just so charge and slash and cut and swashbuckle.
My male students are enjoying Dao more than the sword. That's
Sure.
true.
I think now that I'm older, I'm getting more into. I gotta tell you. I mean, I confess I'm very much an external practitioner. I mean, I do some Xingyi, I do some Baji, just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Internal Shaolin stuff. Pangan was an internal Shaolin sword set, which is part of my daily practice. But I used to teach Tai Chi, but I don't anymore. I mean, I have so much respect for the art, but it just didn't fit me well. And so, but lately, Jen practice has kind of been bringing me more into that softer side, because Jen can be so much more yin. It's so much of all the weapons, it's probably the most yin. And I think there's just something sophisticated about it that lately I've really been getting into it. It's been
Jen is highly nuanced and in many ways, and and the Dao is just very straightforward.
Right.
Yeah, and well, it has been a real pleasure, and I know you're very busy, and I cannot thank you enough for coming here. I don't know if you can see the comments from everyone, and people has nothing but praise for you. And
Thank you.
Dr. John Painter from Texas, Dr. Painter, he was saying you're the true inspiration for the industry, for the martial art. And I don't know I can say better than he has stated. So again, I thank you so much for coming, and you really how should I say energize the whole martial art. And I believe like Billy Donnelly say you're going to create a lot of more things in this area for us, and we have the hope. But at the same time, I know you're busy, and you're doing so many different jobs right now. But if you have time and come back, and then let's talk about the weapon. And you have written about a lot of martial art movies and TV series, and a lot of story behind those things. And I think it would be really cool, and you can share some of the stories with us. And not to mention, and you practice so many different martial art form, like you mentioned, Xingyi and Shaolin and so forth. And then you know so many masters and grandmasters, and there are a lot of stories to be told. And so you look at your calendar and let me know when you have time, and I welcome you coming back. Oh my God! So there's so many comments and from everyone, and thank you all very much, and for joining our class today. And thank you, Ching, and hope we see you more. And if you still have questions after seeing the show, and please let me know, and then any suggestions. And if there's question, I will relate to Jing. Okay, thank you so much for coming. And
really a pleasure. And congratulations on what you're doing with this program is wonderful.
Thank you so much. I hope that this is little things I can pay back to the society. Okay, thank you.